I spend 10 minutes every Sunday doing this one review, and it keeps my week from falling apart. So if you're always scrambling on Monday or other days of the week, this might be what you're missing. For the past 7 years, every Sunday night at approximately 8 p.m., I schedule a weekly planning session. But no, this isn't a lengthy or tedious exercise. This is a short connection with my calendar, which almost never takes more than 10 minutes. So let me show you how I do it. The purpose of this review is to both look ahead, but also to take a quick look back at the previous week, making sure that nothing slipped through the cracks. So before we begin, no matter what calendar app you are using, I would recommend that you come down to your main list of calendars and make sure that almost everything is selected. So for example, I share my calendar with my wife, so I want to make sure that that is listed so I can see what is on her schedule, the things that affect me as well. Make sure that almost all of your calendars are enabled so you can see exactly what is going on. And before looking ahead, we want to take a look back. So what I will do is take my cursor and literally just follow along the screen, starting with last Sunday, and just drag my cursor over every single event that is on my calendar. The purpose of this is to do a mental jog of what I did, what I was engaged with last week, and to see if there's any follow-up that is required, if I need to reschedule something in the future. So for example, last week I had this meeting with Elliot. Did I remember to follow up? Do I need to schedule another meeting? This is my opportunity to do that because I otherwise might wait until he reaches out to me. So I'll continue to go through this process of one by one, event by event. This takes me no longer than 2 minutes. And in many cases, there may be nothing that needs to either come forward or will apply to next week's task list. But just this exercise makes sure that I haven't left anything behind. In addition, it might give me some new ideas as well. Maybe I'll remember that, you know what, that lunch I had with so-and-so went so well. Let's schedule another one sooner than later. Once we've done our week in review, it's time to look ahead. And although it looks very similar to the review that we just did of the past, it's important to look at this from a particular time frame. Now, for me, I like to look ahead a full 2 weeks, not just the coming week, but the full 2 weeks ahead. If I need to reschedule a meeting, if I need to prepare for a major presentation, I want to do that well in advance. You know how difficult it can be to get on someone else's calendar or to reschedule something. So by looking out in 2 weeks, that can be most helpful. Now, if you want to extend that to about 3 weeks, that's fine. I think looking out a full month in ahead is maybe a little overkill and probably a little more time consuming. So probably just sticking with that 2-week time frame. Once again, I'm sort of taking my cursor and just going through day by day. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer the week view so that I can see everything in a more holistic or higher level approach. I can see how things relate to other things on my calendar. I can see that my Tuesday here seems to be a relatively busy one, so I'm not going to schedule anything more on that Tuesday. Or maybe I'm going to give myself a lighter to-do list as a result. Now, of course, unlike our look at the past, this time we are being proactive. So once again, I'm going through my schedule. I come across this office hours that is coming up on Tuesday. I want to remember to send an email one day before. So I can now add that to my task list, or I can add that up here as an all-day event. Another important aspect to look out for is when you are double or possibly even triple booked. Why not get ahead of that now? Give yourself some breathing room and again, reschedule things in advance so you don't have to send a sorry message just a few hours in advance of those commitments or in advance of those appointments. So once again, I'll do this for about a 2-week period. And in total, all of this review really takes me no longer than 10 minutes. The key thing is that it lets me sleep easy at night. It helps me to prepare for the future, and it helps me to start my Monday mornings with a smile on my face. Now, I would love to hear from you next. What are some routines or habits that you use to help you stay prepared? Do you have a weekly review or a weekly planning ritual? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, being productive does not need to be difficult. In fact, it's very simple.